Un saluto a tutti e bentornati su GDR Land. Continuiamo la nostra avventura nei panni dei due cacciatori della sorgente, ovvero Scarlet e Lucius. Allora,
Older
l'ultima
off you
volta
before she can
avevamo
do it.
esplorato un po' l'accampamento della legione e disattivo la chat qui e avevamo preso le missioni per conto di Selenia. Si chiama Selenia? Sì.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldier can be
Allora,
ferocious.
qui adesso posso o esplorare di qua,
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her
e lo
down
farò,
yourself.
oppure andare poi di qua.
The beast speaks, so you half a brain behind that feral maw.
Allora qui si esce,
The
quindi
cretin's question crossed her lips and aped an air of aptitude.
Hey, Tull, I think that
per
was
ora
an
non ci
insult.
andiamo.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Various. You'll only encourage it. Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
Che situazione singolare. La donna in gabbia è in arresto?
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Ma poverina. Che cafone comunque.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
E cosa ne sarà di questa, diciamo, strana sconosciuta?
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Mm,
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy, if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
abbiamo il terzo, anzi il secondo compagno di squadra, considerando che i primi due siamo noi. Allora, prima vediamo un po' come Beirdro, vabbè.
Sorry,
Beirdotr. Beirdor. Vabbè, Beir. Chiamiamola Beirdor in poi, altrimenti ne esco pazzo. Lei, vabbè, è una cacciatrice, quindi è un ranger. Vabbè, un po' di frecce varie. Beh, un paio di pozioni. Vediamo un po', competenze. Allora, ok, arco. Tra l'altro ha già il Tenebrium. Ne parleremo più avanti. Però è una buona cosa. Difesa nulla. Vabbè, ha tirato scelto. Sapienza. Forse conviene darlo a lei, allora. Cioè, lei sarà la nostra analista di nemici. Perché io volevo darle... ah no, quello è un talento però, giusto. I talenti dove si vedono? Eccoli. Recupero frecce, bullo. Fettore. Gli volevo dare... Penso che le darò... dov'è? Comunque, parlare con gli animali. Allora, Beir, prenditi il pugnale.
Sorry, sir.
E l'arco tuo. Perché è tuo, quindi. E adesso parliamoci.
Source Hunter, I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, There are no guarantees.
Ah, non è doppiato stavolta. Vabbè.
It is difficult for me to claim humanity as you do. I am still learning to see myself in the faces of those I meet. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me.
Allora, impariamo, comunque
Sorry,
scopriamo qualcosa in più sul nostro nuovo compagno.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears?
Figlia degli orsi? Cosa significa?
And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Thris. Do you know it? The wise godwolf
Comunque
Amira
no.
raised the child Thris among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Thris the wolfson, and I the bear daughter.
Bairdot. In inglese, ma... Vabbè, Bear. Intendevo che sarò responsabile per te. Ti terrò fuori dai guai. Più o meno.
In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place.
Sì, qualche domanda, va.
Ask freely, my friend.
Allora, primo, come hai fatto a imparare a parlare?
Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me. A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human, and so I must do both.
Vabbè, continua a parlarmi di questo Jared.
He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him.
Va bene, quindi sei stata cresciuta dagli orsi allo stato brado?
Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate.
Un gioco di ruolo.
Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom.
Sembra che tu ne capisca abbastanza di storia per essere la figlia di un orso. Com'è possibile?
I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways.
Perché sei arrivata a Saisiel?
I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him.
Qualche idea su dove possa essere?
That mystery is thick and
Ah,
ugly
abbiamo una
as a
nuova
swarm of
missione.
hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door, and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped, and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken.
Ok. Va bene, allora ti aiutiamo noi. Allora, adesso io devo dare tutta la roba utile per Baer, a Baer. Quindi stacco un attimo e ci vediamo tra poco. Ed eccoci qui. Allora, le ho dato un po' di frecce e qualche pergamena, giusto in caso. Allora, qui ci sono legionari. Qui dovrebbe esserci il capitano Aureus. Ci andiamo così ci dà anche il via libera per la scena del crimine. Allora, qui sotto c'erano le prigioni, vediamo.
Excuse me, Grabby Gus. This is a Legion treasure room, and absolutely no non-legionnaires are allowed in.
Ah, va bene. Quindi niente. Quest'altro?
Quiet! No talking to these scoundrels, criminal scum!
Questo vende roba, intanto ve lo rivendo. Qualche schifezza che ho, ma... cazzo vuoto. Sì, dai. Dov'è? Tendo a tenere tutto perché sto aspettando di avere il quarto personaggio e affidargli la manifattura. Allora, ehi, Cap,
What have we here?
tanto vediamo.
A so-called
Libri delle
source
abilità.
hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs. You hear?
Allora, intanto dimmi chi sei.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number.
Ok, parliamo dell'omicidio di Jake, allora.
Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot.
Beh, ma nella cacca si può nascondere l'origomanzia. No, comunque lui non vede di buon occhio i maghi in generale, ma penso che cioè, la cosa è amplificata per i cacciatori della sorgente.
Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you!
Allora, sì, parliamo di Esmeralda, la moglie di Jake.
Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past.
Che abbiamo fatto? Ah, forse si riferisce ai vecchi divinity, può essere. Perché io non li ho mai... Cioè, li ho iniziati ma non li ho mai finiti, però... non saprei.
What? You're going to
Che sono
stand
3
there
i
and claim
divinity.
with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition.
Ok, allora parliamo del corpo di Jake, anzi parlando del corpo di
It
Jake.
was stolen? Gods, what a fool that Roberts is. Taking a bribe in beleaguered old Syseal. Ah, what was he going to do with that gold? Buy the largest kipper in the land? He has a lot to answer for, but not as much as the one that did the bribing in the first place. Guess your mission is pretty clear, isn't it? Off you go to find this munificent body snatcher.
Allora, forse no, aspetta, ma uno solo posso scegliere. Partiamo da lui. Ho sentito che sei stato visto dal becchino.
You dare stand here and accuse me of involvement in this
Ah.
No, the
Ah, ok.
Source Hunter. Oh, joyous
Allora,
hour.
parliamo
What about
dell'omicidio.
it?
Parliamo
Was
del corpo.
stolen? Yes, yes.
Ah, ecco,
Well, I
ok.
assume it hasn't
Eh,
crawled back to its
allora, forse il
grave.
sindaco è
So have
coinvolto.
you suspect the mayor? Dear me, you couldn't be
Non gli va
further
bene un
from the mark
cazzo.
if you lay the blame on a paraplegic cow. The man raised a foundling orc out of the goodness of his heart, you dolt. A murder indeed.
Allora, sì, è stata anche menzionata Evelyn, che era l'aiutante del guaritore Teleron, credo.
Evelyn?
Ah,
Mr.
sì.
Theriron's apprentice? Nice lass, huh? Brewed me a potion once that cured me of a rash more bothersome than a badger down your breeches. No, she doesn't seem like the type to play hide and seek with stiffs to me.
Vabbè, però. E allora cambiamo argomento. Parlamento l'abbiamo fatto. Questo è quando avremo il colpevole, potremmo dirgli di arrestarlo. Facciamo altre domande.
If you must.
Allora, qual è il tuo problema principale con i non morti? A parte che uccidono e fanno casini.
Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I hadn't been stuck here for 2 years
Ah no,
because we've been
quindi.
besieged by fluffy
Vabbè.
kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's
Sto
half-baked
diventando
contraptions to
analfabeto.
keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all.
Come te la stai passando a Syseal?
How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Syseal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Syseal.
Allora parlami della Legione.
We are the pride of Rivalon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some.
Come noi.
No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably.
E secondo te cosa stanno facendo gli orchi sulla spiaggia?
I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion.
Tra l'altro Aru sospetta anche che ci sia una setta all'opera nei dintorni della città.
Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat,
Ah.
licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
Vabbè. Non c'è stato di molto aiuto, ma vabbè. Allora, torniamo su. Tra l'altro c'è Aru questo, mi sa. Perché in questo episodio si parlerà tanto, credo. Infatti. Aru qui però, allora, cominciamo. Arte del forge. Ah no, però rubiamo tutto. Ah. Aru, che non ci dai i libri?
I hope your
Intanto,
quest fares well, dear hunter.
qua intanto, vabbè, c'è la roba magica. Allora. Vabbè, dai. Dimmi un po' di cazzi tuoi, Aru.
But certainly. What would you like to know?
Allora, chi o piuttosto cosa sei?
Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. Hence my involvement in Scythiel. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet.
Sì, dimmi un po' di più su questo tuo trucchetto del gatto.
Oh, but that's not a trick.
Ah no,
It's a
aspetta che...
blessing. Such
Ah, questo
magic is
l'avevamo
a
già,
gift to be out in the But
già
of course,
letto.
it's handy to speak in more than meow.
Quindi non è pericolosa la tua
And I
metamorfosi.
couldn't
Cosa
brew
succede se
potions
rimani
or make
bloccato in
machines
un'altra
without
forma?
opposable Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me in my cat guise, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar.
Ok, e allora parliamo un po' della questione dei cacciatori.
By all means.
Allora, cominciamo dall'omicidio.
Of course. I hope your investigation fares well.
Cosa è accaduto la notte dell'omicidio?
I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal, I'm afraid. They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion erupted and the thundering light of magic was witnessed by the few remaining patrons. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. When finally he did, he found Jake there, dead. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt were vile. Source, no doubt.
Ok, sospetti di qualcuno?
I myself have none. Even though the rest of the town has already mentally tried and convicted Jake's wife Esmeralda. Now it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, I wouldn't have sent for source hunters.
2 cacciatori. Comunque parliamo del cadavere di Jake.
His body is gone, replaced with that of a
Esatto.
sheep. This is all very disconcerting, to say the least. Grave robbery reeks of necromancy. Could Jake have been involved with those that raise the dead? It seems too improbable to be true, but nevertheless. You're onto something, Hunter. Do follow the scent and see where it leads you.
Ok, c'è qualcosa che puoi dirmi sullo straniero che sembrava in combutta con gli orchi?
I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. All the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry.
Parliamo un po' di Scythiel.
And what might those be?
Allora, cosa possiamo fare contro i non morti che minacciano Scythiel?
Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizens stagger home from the inn or simply burn the midnight oil, I haven't spied a single soul worthy of true suspicion. The enemy is wily. They know us better than we know them, and they've found ways to avoid both detection and distrust. Yet I am somehow convinced that you may succeed where the Legion and I have failed. Call it instinct.
Come hai progettato queste tue balestre magiche? Baliste, anzi.
Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100% legally obtained self-regenerating source of destructive magic to it, and Bobcat's your uncle.
Sembra che tu abbia un po' di problemi con gli orchi, non è vero?
You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior. But to the Legion they are green-skinned death incarnate. Until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through, or, less likely, they are conclusively defeated, we can but bar the gates and hole up like mice while the cats are on the prowl.
Ok, quindi abbiamo parlato con Haru e abbiamo scoperto qualche altra informazione circa la faccenda dell'omicidio. Allora, io direi che siamo a 26 minuti, quindi possiamo fermarci qui. E come sempre un saluto dai Cacciatori della Sorgente e da GDR Land e ci vediamo alla prossima avventura. Ciao!